But what stood strong was comedy. I have been really working on the craft because it means a lot to me. You know, I mean, making sure that I'm good, making sure that I'm solid, and practicing how you fight, right? A lot of guys say, spar how you fight. I mean, you're going to give each other brain damage, but train how you fight, you know? Do the intense shit like how you would fight so you don't develop bad habits. That's why I try my best not to look at my list of jokes and whatever else when I'm on stage. Doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Fucking national headliners do that shit. Mark Norman's on stage with a notepad. I'm not knocking anybody, and I'm sure at one point I'll do it. I'm sure I'll get past this way of thinking, but at the moment, I'm just focusing on getting better. And that's key in anything that you do that's brand new. Or maybe not even brand new, just something that you want to get better at. You got to do it on a consistent basis. And this whole moving process has taken up my month of March, more or less. You know, I did the show at the Comedy Connection, and I did the show at Comics Roadhouse. Those were in March, and I did a bunch of open mics to prepare for those. But since the show at the Comedy Connection, I've done one open mic because I've been just scrambling, you know, just trying to get things all settled. But right here, I have a list of a bunch of open mics that I can go to. I'm not going to be super far from the city, from New York. You know, it's going to be a 2.5 hour commute rather than a 3.5, 4 hour commute from Providence. So it's nice. It'll be good. And I'm excited to get back like hard body at it, because when you take a hiatus, you can sometimes get used to it. And you don't want that shit, especially if it's something you care about. So that's fun. But comedy, I have recently, I feel like I've spoken about it on here, but as you guys know, I am a fan of copying. I love watching the best, and I love taking from them and implementing it in my own game, finding what works, finding what doesn't. And this month was a pretty big month for me in comedy because I realized that there's certain levels of mastery. Because I've been watching a lot of it. I've been taking notes. I got my little notepad here. I've been taking note with my fucking bike thing, whatever. But I've been taking notes on performance, on speech, on how these guys set up punchlines and whatever. And I've been trying. And what I'm finding is there's certain people that have certain levels of mastery. And I shouldn't say levels, but kinds, right? Like, for example, when I watch a guy like Norm Macdonald, who is just effortlessly funny, I want to emulate his effortlessness. The fact that he is just so nonchalant, like he's just exudes comedy. But when I experiment with that stuff, you see that there's certain jokes you can't do that with. Like his whole persona, he was able to get away with it because that's his thing. But what I'm finding is that if you're going to tell a joke that's really like it's harsh material and you want to hit people in their core, you got to say it with a nutsack. You know, I spoke a little bit about this with Pesky and Ski last Thursday. If you guys listen to that phenomenal mockery of an episode, mockery is a not negative connotation, but I think it's good. It was, I found that when I went to Mohegan, I tried to be very stationary on the stage because that's another level of mastery. A guy like Tom Papa who can just stand there, tell his jokes. Doesn't need to be doesn't need to be crazy animated. Doesn't need to pace back and forth. He stands there with the microphone on the stand and just talks. Leans it back, leans it forward. To me, there's a level of mastery there that I attempted, and it didn't work. It looked weird. There's a thing with live performance that it also needs to there's like an aesthetic to it, right? Part of the style is how you keep yourself up there, how you have certain mannerisms. That's what makes shit funny sometimes.